everybody, welcome back. We are back in the kitchen, not making a fishing video today. We're gonna smoke some ribs. So something very easy to do. Ribs are kind of hard to mess up unless you just leave them on too long, they dry out. But a method that I use when I'm not doing the party rib style, which you saw in one of the earlier videos, where I cut it up before I cook it, I'm actually gonna do a full rack today. So I've got St. Louis style ribs, which is spare ribs. They got a little more meat, a little more fat on them than other styles of ribs, but I like these. Gives a little more flavor when you're smoking them for 6 hours. So my favorite method to use on a full rack of ribs is 3-2-1 method. So the first 3 hours is on the smoker. You put your seasoning on there. You let it smoke for 3 hours at like 220 or 225. The next 2 hours, you wrap it up tight in aluminum foil. I usually put in a little bit of butter, a little bit of brown sugar, and just a little bit of barbecue sauce on top, so it kind of gives it that sticky, really good flavor. And then for the last hour, you pull it out of the aluminum foil, and what that does is you put a little bit more of that crisp on the outside. You've got that barbecue sauce sitting on there, and it just becomes that kind of like gooey barbecue, finger looking good, the ribs. So the way we'll start out is, this is St. Louis style, like I was saying. First thing I always do when I pull them out, kind of clean them off. I usually take a paper towel, go over the top, just kind of get all the extra moisture off, which is very common to be covered in, the blood. It's not really blood, it's, I guess, whatever they call it. But clean that all off. And the most important thing to do when prepping is to get this membrane off. So on every rib that you buy, unless someone was really nice before packaging, they always have this membrane on the back side of the ribs. The best way I found to get this off is a butter knife. If you use a really sharp knife, it will cut through this membrane and then you can't get your hand on it. So what I do is, I usually will come here, usually in the middle, wherever, find it, go right next to the bone, and then you take that butter knife, you shove it up underneath there. When you pull, you can see that this starts to pull off here. Then what I'll do is I'll just work it down until I get enough to really get my hand underneath there. And then get your whole hand and just start ripping. And it'll all come off of there, and you want to get this whole backside completely clean of the membrane. Run your thumb down there. This is the worst part of the whole process. Grab it, tear it off of there. We'll get rid of that. I'm just gonna leave that big piece of meat on there. I'll probably trim this part off as well. All right, so you can see we've got that membrane off of there. Now that's ready to go. Now we're ready to prep it and get it going and ready for the smoker. We've got everything cleaned up here. Butter knife is the best way to go. Turn this over. Actually, let's start on this side. All right, so what I'm gonna do is just very lightly put just a little bit of olive oil, not much. It will go a long way. You don't wanna put too much when you put your seasoning on there, because then it won't stick. So you just need a little layer all the way around. And then we're just gonna coat it with Southwest dust. This is from Detweiler's Local Market by us. We love this. We use it we do dry rubs on ribs, wings, pork butts, just kind of really universal. So we're just gonna sprinkle that all over. What this will do for those first 3 hours, that'll help break down the fats, really get that flavor in there. Just enough to coat it, since we are gonna use barbecue on it later. It's not gonna be just a dry rub on the ribs. We'll flip that over. We'll do the same to the other side. Just a little bit of olive oil. Just a little bit goes a long way. Rub that up. Get that olive oil all over it. Okay. And then we'll just do a little bit of seasoning on here as well. All right, just kind of rub that in. You can see that olive oil kind of captures it. You get that nice coating all the way around. Then once that smokes, what that'll do is that'll leave a nice bark, and that's what you want. You want the inside to be soft. You want a nice little bark, and then you want kind of the gooey goodness of the barbecue, you know, around each rib when you eat it. So get that going. I got the smoker set to 220, throwing it on the RecTech, and then we'll set it out there for 3 hours on the first go, and then we'll wrap it up for the second 2 hours. So 6 hours total. So make sure you allot 6 hours before dinner, or if you're having people over on a Sunday watching football, you got to start it in the morning, or your ribs won't be ready for everyone to show up. And I'm not sure if anyone saw in the background, but because our RecTech is rather large and we're going ahead and we're burning all those pellets, and one rack of ribs really doesn't take up even a quarter of the smoker, we try to utilize the pellets as we're burning it because, you know, might as well throw in all you can. We, of course, have 10 pounds of our famous jerky. It's going to go on the smoker as well next to it. So big thing of jerky. Made this up last night. Did a little bit different from the last video. Put a little more mango habanero hot sauce in it just to try to give it a little more spice. We'll see how it turns out. It was super spicy last night. I tried a little bit of the marinade this morning, and it's not as spicy as I thought it would be, but it's still going to be really good. So stay tuned. We're going to throw this on the smoker here in a second and get it going for the first 3 hours. All right, so we're at the smoker with the RecTech. Got it set for 220 there. I'm gonna just let it ride at 220 for the next about 6 hours. So we're gonna take this, place it in this little open slot right here. As you can see, we got the beef jerky just on. It's all laid out. So that's the first round of beef jerky. Usually go in several rounds, but all right, we're gonna take that. We're gonna throw it on there, and then we'll check back on it in about 3 hours. All right, as you can see, got all the meat on there ready to go. The old RecTech. All right, so we're about 3 hours in. You can see it's really looking good. Now it's time to wrap it up and get that moisture back into the meat. You can see our second batch of jerky is still going, but yep. We're gonna take this, do a few things to it and wrap it in aluminum foil. We're going to pull this off and get it wrapped up. And here's some little secret that I do before I wrap it. I like to put a little bit of butter on here. Starting to melt because it's 95 degrees out right now. And then some brown sugar. And I usually use like a stub or something like that, but what we have today is just sweet original Sweet Baby Ray's. So I'm just going to put a light layer over the top of it. Nothing too much. We'll really sauce it up once we get done with it. Use a little tool here. Just kind of even that out so it covers most of it. That's going to put the moisture back into the meat. And since we have the small aluminum foil, we're just going to make like a packet. So take a piece of aluminum foil that's about the same size. We'll put that over the top. Wrap our corners. Wrap it nice and tight so that all that moisture and everything that's coming out of the meat can't go anywhere, and it'll actually soak back into the meat. Alright, I'll take this and we're going to throw it back on the smoker. Alright, we'll let that sit for about 2 more hours, and then we'll pull it out, sauce it up, and put it back on the grates. All right, guys, we're 5 hours in, so we just did the 2-hour wrap on this. It's been sitting there for about 2 hours. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull it off, we're going to set it back on there, and then we're going to barbecue the whole thing up and make it look really good. This will be the final hour of it being on the smoker. As you can see, it looks super good. Get you in there real close so you can see it. Yeah, looks amazing. The bones are starting to look clean, which is good. You actually don't want the bones to be like fully out. You still want to be able to grab it, and then when you go to pull on it with your teeth, it comes off perfectly. So, all right, we're gonna get this out of the aluminum foil, and then we're gonna take it and we're gonna sauce the whole thing up. Alright, so you can see we've got some good bark underneath there. Still got a little bit of the tacky barbecue in that brown sugar butter mixture that I have on there, make it really good. And then I'm just going to put some more on top here, and then what we'll do is come through, just fill this in. Just paint it on there nice, all over the meat. What that's going to do is that's going to get kind of tacky on it, and then when we go to pull it off again, when we cut these out, it'll be a perfect amount of barbecue sauce on there. Alright guys, we're 6 hours in. There we go. You can see how it's kind of somewhat caramelized on top of there. Oh yeah. Looks good. We're going to pull that, throw it on the cutting board, and take it inside. I'll show you the final product and do a little taste test. Got the final product here. It's got this, sticky, sticky barbecue on top of it. Looks super good. We'll go ahead and cut that up and give you a little taste test. Now, of course, we're going to use our Dexters. Got the fork and the knife here. It's the long one that you've seen me use in the previous videos. What you want to do is basically find where that bone runs, and then you just go right down in between it. It should pop right off of there. Yeah, and as you can see, it's just absolutely falling apart. Alright, the bones just kind of pull out. And you're left with your meat pieces here. We'll do a little taste test. 6 hours in, we've been doing this, so pretty much all day. Kind of good. I work from home, so it's kind of nice. We can put it on there, and then we can try it later. It's very good. Super soft on the inside. Has a little bit of bark on the outside. Then it has the stickiness from the brown sugar and the butter and the Sweet Baby Ray's on top. So really good ribs, really easy to cut. You can see I could just pull the bones out. So it's super soft meat. Yeah, we're going to tear into this for dinner. So hope you enjoyed this. If you have any other ideas or anything that you want to smoke on the smoker but you haven't done it yet and you have any questions about it and want me to do a video of, please let me know. I would love to do it. We also got all the beef jerky, the 10 pounds of it, all packaged up. It's ready to go. We're going on a Keys trip next week, so we're taking that beef jerky with us because that's our favorite boat snack. Stay tuned. We might do one long video. If we fish every day, we'll probably break it into multiple days of doing videos. Hopefully go after different species every day. It's definitely mahi season because it's summertime, so we'll target some mahi. We'll do some deep dropping, probably do some mutton, grouper fishing as well. If we get a couple rough days, we'll probably sit in tight and yellowtail and stuff like that too. So comment below if you like this video. We are going to dig into this right now because it's hot. It's straight off the smoker, and it's really, really good. So thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, hit all the buttons, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.